think my countdown works. Should we give that one a go again? Let's see if we can get that to work. Oh dear, technical nightmares, but it's working. Hello. Welcome to Longman Tarot. Richie here. Welcome to the channel if you've been here many times before, or if you're new to Longman Tarot, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this on Catchback, I hope you enjoy it. And please remember, like and subscribe. I'm going to say that bit now. I'm going to say hello to a few people that are here, and I can see Sandra, my lovely, you are the first one in today. I hope you are really well. It's really humid, actually. I've just noticed that Jackie says, oh my God, we've got thunder. It feels like it's going to thunder here. I know we're in for some rather irregular weather tonight. So, Jackie, I hope you're very well and keeping safe in the storm. Who else is here? Redwing is here. Hello to you, my lovely. I hope you are very, very well. Kristen, hello to you. Good to see you here. I hope you are well. Lovely that you could join us. I'm pleased you're here because I know you're a bit of an expert on the old Norse and Viking legends, and so useful input, I'm hoping. Beth, hello to you. It's good to see you here. Anyone else that's just watching and not chatting, hello to you. Hershey, hello to you, my lovely. I hope you are well. Orshi, hello to you. We really must have that chat sometime, mustn't we? I hope you're doing very well. Kathy is here. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. Hello to you. I hope you are well. Let's see if anyone else is here. I think that's everyone at the moment in chat. As I said, if you're watching, hello, you're very, very welcome. So today we're looking at Norse Viking decks. Now, I should explain why I decided to do this live. It would have made probably just a good video to video and not do this live, but I quite like the input from people, particularly about the myths, the legends, what they think about the cards, because that's really nice to have that that two-way conversation going on. So please feel free to add any comments. I am going to flick through all the cards in all the decks that I've got quite quickly. So if you want me to go back and show another deck, another card, or to go back and look at it for a bit longer, let me know. You might want to type it in capitals so you stand out from the chat. And yeah, so we're going to be looking at Norse and Viking decks. Hi everyone joining us. Hi Pia, good to see you here. I hope you are well. Yeah, absolutely. Or she messaged me, we'll sort that one out there. And Jackie says, I prefer lives, love the chatting. I do too. So chat away. It's lovely to have you here. Like I said, if you want me to hone in on some cards for a bit longer, I have got a camera face down which we'll swap onto, so I won't be holding the cards up and you'll be able to get to see them a lot better. So as I was saying, why am I doing this? I've had a bit of a clear out. That's where it started from. These shelves here have had were a bit chock-a-block. So I did, in the last couple of weeks, have a good dust and tidy up. And I decided to put away some decks, not to put them into a purgatory, but just simply think, which ones do I actually want out going into autumn season? What ones haven't I used yet? Which ones will I use? And so I had a bit of a sort out. And as I was sorting it out, I was really surprised to find I have collected several Nordic Viking, I'm going to call them Norse style decks. Now, the reason that surprised me is that I was never, up to about 8 years ago, was never really into Norse legends and all that lot. I was very much into Greek and Roman mythology. Down in the southeast of England where I live, you can't move for not tripping over Roman remains around here. So I was brought up at school on a sort of field trips out to see Roman remains. Just literally where we lived, there was a massive Roman shore fort it's fantastic down at Pevensey. So I've had a lot of interest to do with the Romans and the Greeks because they transfer across. So yeah, not really much to do with Norse legends until I went to Iceland about 8-9 years ago. And there I absolutely fell in love, not only with the country itself, but the folklores, the geology. And I could really understand, you know, when they've got molten rock, you've got volcanoes, you've got hot springs, you've got northern lights, you've got very bare countryside that's mainly rock and very few trees there at all. And you're stuck on this island that's out in the middle of the sea there, and you've got the winter night. I can absolutely understand where these Norse sagas and these myths came from. And it was on this Icelandic trip that I kind of got the excitement for it coming through. So that's where it comes about. And that's what I want to explore today, just looking at the different style of decks that I've got to do with Norse. Oh, thank you, Hershey. That sounds so interesting. Thank you. I hope so. It's going to be enjoyable. Let's hope so. Now, I should just start off by saying that the moment you have a Norse deck, in fact, I probably defy anyone to go through their Tarot Oracle collection and pull out a Norse or Viking style deck that doesn't have some form of runes on it, because it goes hand in hand. If you're going to have a tarot deck, they normally dress it up with some runes in there as well. Now, I have tried to read runes and tried to work with runes. It doesn't particularly work for me at the moment. However, saying that, I really appreciate the folklore and the reading and what goes with them all. But I'm going to talk about that because obviously runes are going to be a big feature in the design of the cards here. And perhaps people might like to put some comments in about those ones and what they think about them. So yeah. So I'm not a rune reader. We don't read runes, but I do read tarot, and I'm excited to show you some of the oracle cards as well there. Hello to anyone that's joining us. Really lovely to have you here. Beth says, I know nothing about Norse myths or cultures, really. Don't know if it's because it's not in my DNA or due to particular Eastern European education, European-centered education. I don't know. Absolutely, I'm much the same. It seems that Nordic Viking sagas were not on my education scheme of work. It was other things that took that on there. So I kind of missed out, which is a bit of a shame. However, I'm making up for it now, which is really exciting then. Sandra says, my brother absolutely loves anything Norse. Yeah. And I love how the Norse legends, the Norse style has kind of come back in fashion. I mean, you had the series Vikings and you have all those spin-off of Vikings. I suppose as well, you've got Game of Thrones that goes into that as well. You've got the Lord of the Rings stuff, which all comes in as well. So it seems to be a really big resurgence. There seems to be, particularly with men and their styles, that you can go on the internet and you can find some really nice, sort of really sensible winter outfits with a Nordic look. And the fact that men particularly have been growing beards, mine isn't particularly long at the moment, but there's just very much this kind of grow a beard, and it's kind of along the Viking kind of way. And a lot of the beard and beard products that you can get quite often kind of have runes on them or have words that would assume that they're to do with Viking. So it seems that there's a really big resurgence in there. And I think that's really interesting. So, but the Viking, and if you go to Glastonbury, there's a lot of stuff there. And I've been to Sandra, to Glastonbury with Sandra, and I know that we've had some really lovely conversations there about it. Beth says, I had an Icelandic sheepdog. Like that. Or she says, I was excited for studying runes, but in the end, I was left with only a tattoo. That's right, you do. I remember that one there. Isn't it interesting how people, again, go for tattoos of that style and the artwork that goes with it as well? Hello, Patchwork Tarot. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you here. Hershey says, I love my runes and I definitely work with them. My Norwegian heritage is strong. Again, I think it's in the DNA, isn't it? As you said, how wonderful. And Kristen, who has created her own runic deck. Oh, there you go. Runic Oracle. I'm proud of it, but it didn't sell very well. Runes are a niche interest. Yeah, I think you're right with that. I know that people often read with runes on top of another form of divination. Yeah. However, it was really interesting. I went to the British Museum last week to look at an exhibition on, it was Greeks and Romans. But in the gift shop, they had lots of bags of runes on different crystal sets. They probably had about 9 different boxes full of different, you could have them on amethyst, or they were quite pricey, but I was really interested to see how runes have come back into it again. Jackie Crystal Moon says, I have what I call a Viking warrior stickman tattoo on my wrist. Fabulous. I love the artwork. Absolutely. Fantastic. And Redwing, if you're interested in Norse mythology, runes, spirituality, watch. Oh, here we go. Now, this is my problem, trying to pronounce some of this. I will do it. Alith Haga YouTube channel. Redwing, if you're possible, or anyone modding wants to put a link in, please feel free to do that, as well as putting any links to any of the decks that are coming up today there. So please feel free to put links in for other channels or websites. Please, of course, purchase responsibly. Oh, it's made up of 4 rune letters. Some like a sigil. Wonderful. Kathy says, I love Norse mythology. It's my favorite of all the mythologies. I've always been drawn to it. My granddad was half Norwegian, half Welsh. Lovely, lovely combination there. Yeah. And Hershey says, do you have a link there, Kristen? Perhaps you can pop that in there if you have. I've got a back tattoo of it. Can't speak. Idistral with Hugin and Munin there, the ravens on it, and runes carved into the trunk. That does sound epic, absolutely. I don't think I've seen a photo of it, actually, Kristen. I don't know if it's the kind of thing you would like to do, put tattoos on Facebook and stuff, but it'd be really lovely to see if it's finished. Yeah, it does sound really cool. I don't know if I'm allowed to share them. You can share them. Absolutely, you can share them, Kristen. Sandra says it was lovely, Rich, a whole year since. Is it really? Actually, you're right, because it came up on my my feed of Facebook. Stop talking so quickly, Richard. Just slow down. Yeah, and yeah, it was a year ago, wasn't it? Hasn't time gone quick? Beth says I have some witches' runes that seem to be much less complicated, but I rarely use them. Yeah, and Aritherga. I'll go with that one. I do apologise for my pronunciation today. Thank you, Orshi, for putting it in. And Piers has to go, but catch the replay. You're very welcome. Have a good day. You take care. And Orshi says, I love his channel. It's a very interesting person. There's loads of really good stuff on YouTube. Yeah. There we go. And Kristen's put a link on there. So making playing cards if you're interested in purchasing Kristen's Rune Oracle deck. You're very welcome. Okay, now sorry, clapping into the microphone is not good. I thought I'd start off with some books actually. We will get onto the Tarot and Oracle in a minute. So after I came back from Iceland, I thought, right, it's time to actually learn or start to know something about the Viking myths, the Viking legends. And I did try and look at quite a few YouTube videos, and I was kind of getting a little bit confused because I'm a very visual learner, and some of the names of the Viking gods are quite similar. So you've got Frey, you've got Frey, you've got Freya, you've got all of those ones. So I like something that's a bit more visual when it comes to videos on there. So I thought I'm better off reading. So I pulled out 3 of the books that I've read over the course of the last couple of years that I've really enjoyed reading, slightly different takes on the traditional Norse tales there. Hi, Gerald. It's good to see you here. Hope you're okay. So the first one, and all of these are still available, okay, is The Norse Myths by Kevin Crossley Holland. And this is, it looks like it's a young adult child, but it's not. I think some of these myths are quite hard hitting, some of them. There is a bit of violence in there as well, but a lot of good fun. And I really enjoyed reading his version, his translation of them. If you don't know who Kevin Crossley Holland, he's an English writer, and I'm going to say translator, and he's probably most famous for doing a set of Arthurian books. And I can't remember all of them, but I know one of them is called At the Crossing Place. And this is just a really good, it's really thick, really good book that you can pick up, take with you if you're going, read on the train kind of book there. Fantastic. The other book that I really enjoyed is Neil Gaiman. Now, Neil Gaiman, of course, has got a bit more of a bizarre take on stuff. If you know, he's written stuff like Coraline, along with lots of other bits and pieces there. I think he's also written some Doctor Who episodes. Yeah. And this is a good, really good, quite quick read, actually, for the size of the book. And it's not too quirky in a Neil Gaiman kind of way. But again, that is a really fantastic book. The last book that I'm going to show you, all of those are available in paperback, by the way, so you don't have to buy them as hardback. The last book I'm going to show you is quite special and quite difficult to get hold of on the internet. It is Johan Egerkrans' Norse Gods. Now, I actually picked up in Iceland itself. You can buy it, but it costs quite a lot. But it is a fantastic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down so that you can see under the camera, you can see some of the images of the book, because his artwork is astonishing. And I just want to share some of this with you. It's my absolute pride, this book. You can see his artwork there. In fact, I used one of his pictures in the thumbnail for this live today. What I like about this, he introduces all the gods sort of down the page as kind of portraits there. Kathy says Neil Gaiman's book on Norse mythology is a great introduction. I love the audiobook. Oh, okay, his audiobook. What a good way of doing it. Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. I didn't was he reading it. Joe says I struggle with the names and the words, and that's, I know what you mean. I think that's what put me off for a little while. I kind of think, well, if I'm reading, I just go for it, and I make it fit for what I would call it, rather than trying to worry about the pronunciation. And I just, once you stop worrying about it, I found that it got a little bit easier. There we go. There are the right. He's got this wonderful style. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Hello, everyone else that's joining. Sorry, I'm just showing some of the illustrations. As you can see, they're very dark. They're really atmospheric, and there's so many levels on them. I'm just going to show you some more. I haven't actually read this book all the way through. I kind of pick it up and put it down for the mere fact that I do not want to be holding this for too long. It's such a precious thing for me. But I don't want to leave it out. You can see the artwork in there is just stunning. I think you can buy prints on the internet of his work. It's quite familiar, some of his work. This is, let's see if I can find the Norns. There we go. Yeah. Hi, Simon. Good to see you here. I think that one's probably the most famous picture of his. It's beautiful. So that is, I want to show you the picture of Thor if I can find it. I should have put, because that's amazing. You know, I won't be able to find it now. Perhaps I'll come back. Yeah, that was Freya. That's the one that I used for the thumbnail. Just really detailed. I hope you can see how detailed the artwork is there. I love it because it's got that real sense of wildness about it, which I often get with the Norse tales there. Kristen says, love his artwork. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it really is beautiful. Yeah. I think I've caught everyone that's here. Hi, if you're joining us. Hi, May. Good to see you here. Happy Friday to you. Okay, so those are the 3 books. Let's just show them again. So that's the Johan Egerkrans. Again, I'm not going to apologise every time I say something that may not be correct. Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology and the Norse Myth by Kevin Crossley-Holland that comes in different covers there. So those are the books that, if you are interested, I would recommend, owning those ones. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to have a quick swig of tea. And we'll have a look at some decks. Okay, where should we go for? Let's go with the first one. Let's go with the one that I love. Actually, I have to say, it's quite a difficult Oracle deck to read with. It's the Stacey DeMarco one. But the reason I like this is I actually bought this in Iceland. It's the first time I saw this deck. And I actually bought it. I have to say, Iceland is an incredibly expensive country. And I bought it because I thought I'd never find that anywhere else, not realizing that it's available on Amazon. So I spent a small fortune in the Iceland airport on this. But it's a lovely keepsake, and it does keep me those wonderful images and memories of Iceland when we were there. So I love it. And we're going to have a look through this one there. Oh, you bought this, your brother, this one? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one for an Oracle deck. Kathy says the art in the last book is great. It's not Disney-fied or made to be cute. No. And that's one great thing about the legends, the myths. They are pretty violent. They're not pretty, and yeah, they wouldn't work very well Disney-fied up, would they? And that is the thing. It's got that ancestry art and quite grim, quite atmospheric, which is very much like Iceland. It's all those Nordic countries. When it's cloudy and grey, it's really cloudy and grey. Have I seen the Norse Mythos Oracle next on my list to purchase? I haven't seen that one yet. What I'm doing is I'm just working with the ones I've got, and then think, do I need another one? Yeah, I bought this in Iceland, so I thought, oh, I'm nipping to Iceland in the morning. Oh, sorry, Simon, I should have explained the country. You can get all of these though on the internet. You don't need to visit Scandinavia to do this. I should point that one out. Okay, let's go camera down again and have a look at these cards. Now, if you're familiar with Stacey DeMarco, the artwork in here, as I have to say, pretty much, I think, for every other deck that you're going to see here, I think, I may be wrong, but because of the Nordic, Scandinavian, Viking look, it's all going to be quite white-skinned. It's going to be quite muscular. There's not very much diversity when it comes into, they've gone tradition on these ones here. So let me show you the size of these cards. These are the backs. It comes with a very nice book. Let's put that up there. So you get a lovely little guidebook with it. And you can see that basically the Oracle deck is split halfway into the runic cards, and then others that have the characters from the Norse pantheon there. I have to say, this deck I have to use the guidebook for, because particularly if I get a rune card on here, because I just simply can't remember it. And quite often the way that some of the characters have been painted in one deck look very different to how they've been portrayed in others. So if you take, for example, Loki's daughter Hel, who normally has half a perfect face and half like a dead skeletal face, the way that she's portrayed in different decks is really very, very interesting. So you get to see them. So these are very glossy. I'm just going to, that's the size of them. And those are the backs. So they're really lovely. You can tell obviously which way up they go. These partner up really well with any of the decks that I'm going to show you later on today as well. So just have a look at that one. Now, so like I said, the first few are based on the runes. like I said, I'm going to go quickly, but if you do want me to go back and show another one for a longer time, do let me know. Again, I'm not going to pronounce some of these rune names because I will really mess them up. But the artwork in this is absolutely stunning. I particularly like that one. It's got a really cold, you can feel the wind whistling around that card. You do get the little thing I do know about runes is, for example, Isa is talking about icicles and the snow. So they have tried to represent the meaning of where the original rune came from with it. Doesn't particularly help me with the translation and reading them, but I can see what they've done with the artwork here. It's like a green man now. And again, I don't know who half these characters are, even if they're based on from the Norse pantheon. I know there were different runes as well, so I'm assuming. I can't remember the name of this set of runes. Is it the Elder? I might be wrong on that one then. So those are the 24 runes. Let's move those out the way, and then we come on to the other ones, the rest of the Oracle deck, which is more about parts of the sagas, parts of the legends and the myths, and parts of the actual pantheon, the gods themselves. So we have the Void, Fenrir, which is interesting because Fenrir is like a big wolf, isn't it, actually, in the story? And here it's representing its wolf helmet there. Freya. Fredgerd. That's beautiful. The colours in this deck is absolutely stunning. Their borders are pretty big, actually. That's one thing I will say. They are very glossy and very big. If you could trim them, I think you would probably ruin the backs though if you did that one there. That's right, yeah. It's a wolf. One of Loki's children bit off Tyr's hand. I pronounce it Tyr's hand. One of Odin's, I believe, yeah. I'm just trying to catch up with people's chat, actually. Skadi. Soul. Sunstone. I'm going to say in this as well, I'm kind of disregarding anything from Marvel Universe when it comes to these decks. I really like the Thor films and the other series that span off from it. I really do. But I think that stays in entertainment, and Norse mythology is something a little bit different. We're talking of Thor. There we go. Okay. As much as I love Chris Hemsworth, and I promise you I do, I think Thor himself has a little bit more anger attached to him, a little bit more less Hollywood, let's put it that way. Well of the Weird. I love that. And the last card is Idrisil. So that's the day. 45 cards, very good value. I don't know if it's got a price on the back. No, it doesn't. I think it changed. But that is the Viking Oracle Stacey DeMarco deck there. So that's, as I said, it goes really well with most of the other decks that I'm going to show you. So if you like reading tarot and you like reading Oracle cards together, that would be, I think this is probably one of the go-to decks there. Right, let's put me back up. Let's have a look at what people are saying there. Hershey says, I would like a rune deck so bad. In fact, capitalized there. My brother has one, but he won't let me read with it. Oh, but I understand I'm stingy with some of my Toronto. Well, give and take, isn't it? Well, I'm going to show you some in a moment, and another one in a moment, and see if that helps, might give you some ideas. But there are a lot of rune decks out there, and there are a lot of modern takes on rune decks as well. I can't think of one. I nearly bought it the other day. But there's like a modern. You've got each rune and a modern background setting for it. So it might be like a house or a swimming pool, and it's actually a really good deck to have if you're trying to learn runes, because it takes them out of the historic context and puts them into what it would mean in a modern day reading there. So, and I can't remember, probably something like the modern runic deck or something like that. I need all of them. Yeah. No, I've just sorted this out. I'm really trying to make space. Thank you, Calla. I got the Viking Runes Oracle. Not a fan of the cardstock, but the deck itself is pretty cool. Excuse me. And Kristen says, I'm feeling cool to work with Hel. Freya is my main goddess, though. I didn't know that. Fantastic. She says, I've got Stacey DeMarco as the Elemental Oracle, and I love her artwork. Hel is Loki's daughter, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He had 3 children. Fenrir, Hel, and I can't remember the third one. Came from a horse, didn't they? Someone will remind me. Yeah, Hel's was charged of overseeing the underworld. Yeah. It has the pronunciations for everything in the guidebook, which I found helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Food Heart, thank you. Thank you. I needed that one there. Yeah. Just talking about Fenrir there. There we go. Gary, I would pronounce that, and Freki are Odin's wolves. Wasn't one of Harry Potter's werewolves called Fenrir? Quite probably. Hello, Jonathan. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're doing okay. Thinking of you a lot. Yeah, you're thinking of Ferenz the Centaur there. Absolutely. Chris Hemsworth is a bit slapstick. Beautiful slapstick, yeah. Thank you, Edwin. There we go. The Elder Futhark Runes. Edward Thorson has a book about them. And there you go. Super. I think I've probably got some books on runes. Again, I've tried. I even made my own set. I can't do it to myself at the moment. I've got lots of other things I'm studying at the moment. So there. I was thinking of Fenrir. I think he was an evil bounty hunter. I think you're right, Calla. Yeah, I seem to remember that was in there. Hi, Shane. Good to see you here. Hi. And Sonia here. Hello to you. Good to see you here. And Kristen suggesting the book Taking Up the Runes by Paxson. Fabulous. Okay, so that's one Oracle deck done. We're going to do a tarot deck now. Right, so we will be looking next at the Runic Tarot. This is the big disappointment for me of the evening. I have to be honest, okay? The Runic Tarot, I was so excited when I saw this was going to be released. I pre-ordered it on Amazon. I got super excited. And I have to say, I have hardly used this deck. The artwork in here leaves me very, very cold. And I'll explain why in a moment. Having said all this, so I do have to upsell this. I am going to be getting rid of this deck from my collection. And so I'm going to auction it off or go to the highest bidder. So if anybody would be interested in buying this deck at the moment, brand new on Amazon in the UK, it's about £27. If you want to make me a sensible offer, message me on my Facebook page through Facebook Messenger. Make me a sensible offer. I'd like to sell in the UK so it doesn't cost a fortune on postage, but I'm happy to sell across the world if anybody would like this, but it is going. So if you're interested in getting this copy of this deck, I promise you I've only shuffled it a few times and I've done hardly any readings with it. It does come with this quite good book, actually. Sorry, I should have said it's Jack Sephiroth, Alan Dempster, Jamie Elford, yeah, Heaven and Earth creators as well. So there we go. The book is delicious. I have to say that. There we go. We've got the table of runes there because they're going to have runes on these cards all the way through. It is fantastic. It's just not my thing. So it comes with lots of writing on each of the cards. There are illustrations through the major arcana and then of the aces, so you can see a close-up what it's like. There we go. And I'm going to tell you why I don't use it, because that's, I think, fair to say. It's low Scarabeo. Just catch up. This is my brother's favourite deck. He might need 2 copies. Yeah, how about that one, Sandra? Thought about that? And Kristen says, I'm trying to rehome my runic oracle. I'm disappointed with it. Isn't it funny? Some of these you're really looking for runic tarot. Yeah. Some of you just look forward to, and then it just comes along. It doesn't seem to be working for you. The rune meanings seem to be a bit off for me. As I said, I don't read runes, so I don't have that problem. But I'll talk to you about why it is in the moment. Kathy says, it's been on my list for ages. Never pulled a trigger and bought it. Not sure why. It should be right up my street. That's exactly my sentiments when I saw this deck. So nice to see all of you today. I hope you're all doing great to shine. Yes, I hope we are. It's lovely that you're here. And Kristen says some of the artwork a little cheesy. Well, the box is beautifully created. And I never use those things properly. And I'm just going to move that to one side. So it is a magnetic box. Card size. I'm using the Radiant, standard Radiant. No, sorry. Yeah, the Radiant tarot there for this one. Yeah. So you can see it is pretty much same size as your standard card there. I think I've put this in order. I had a real job putting this in order because, as you'll see later on, the symbol for the suit has the number on it and the wand. And if you do this in low light, which is what I was doing this morning because we're about to have a rainstorm, the wands do look a bit like the cups, and I'll explain why in a moment. So you have to have, this is what puts me off of this deck. You have to have really good eyes. I always feel that the artwork in here is so much going on, and so I'm going to say beautifully drawn. It is beautifully drawn, these cards. A little bit glossy, not too bad on the camera there. But my eyes just dance around this card. And actually, it tires me out reading this because there's almost too much going on with the images. And some of them look a little bit like this here, look a little bit fuzzy. Now, I know the camera isn't perhaps picking it up to its best here. It feels very much, having seen quite a lot of AI decks now, it's got a kind of AI feel to it. I'm sure it wasn't made as an AI deck. But it's got that same kind of, it makes my eyes work really hard to try and understand what's happening in the picture. That's a beautiful image. Absolutely. And each one's got a rune in there if you go looking for it. Jonathan says the book is great because Jamie Alford wrote it, but that's all she did. The rest was Jack. Yeah. And he directed what she wrote. Oh, okay. I can see what you're saying, but it feels a little bit cheesy. Cheesy. I wouldn't say cheesy myself. I just find it a bit too dark. If you look at that picture of the Emperor, it just seems well, hold your thoughts because I'm going to show you a tarot deck in a moment that's the opposite of this, and which I absolutely love. And we can so remember what these ones look like. The images are stunning. I think it might help if it wasn't on glossy card. I think if it was on a mat, my eyes wouldn't be trying to focus so much there. And Joel says, doesn't matter. If I can't read the words on a card, it is useless to me, even with the font. Appropriate style. Grumpy man, just using my phone and thump that message. I have to say that the titles here are very very prominent. But on the minor arcana, it's not. Bearing in mind, I'm trying to sell this deck, everyone. I hope I'm doing a good enough job. I love that strength card, though. That is beautiful. Why doesn't anyone have nipples? I hadn't noticed, Jonathan. Thank you for bringing that one up. You're right. Font does matter. Yeah. That's quite a disturbing card for the Hermit, actually. It's the head of, I can't remember, a giant or something that that lives at the foot or in the well of Yggdrasil. There's Fenrir. I think it's something to do with the depth of the cards. Now, this is a strange one because knowing a little bit about Greek myths, having read the books, I know that Odin sacrificed himself and hung upside down on the tree for however many days and nights it was to get the runes. So you'd think, therefore, that the Hanged Man would represent Odin, as it does in every other tarot deck that I've got. Here it isn't. It's a different one altogether here. It's someone, and without, perhaps I'll have a look in the book, it will tell me. But I think they're learning to ski or something like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, high up in the snowy mountains, performs a death-defying trick on his skis. Yeah. That's a great death card. Yeah, he is on skis. Absolutely. I quite agree. And naturally, the devil is Loki. That's a very powerful moon card. I'm not quite sure I like people fighting in it, I have to be honest. I prefer my moon card more quieter and yeah. Sun, yeah, okay. We've got a chariot on the sun. Yeah, okay. Don't confuse it with this chariot card. Judgment, you've got the, I think the Valkyries after the battle there and the world. So that's the major. The minor, as I said, have got just the symbol in the top there and the number. I love the aces. And actually, I think I probably prefer the minor to the major arcana on this one. It follows the RWS in a way. These are the swords, obviously. Yeah, Hershey, you're right. It doesn't seem right. But you notice we've got these runes. They don't distract too much. But I also appreciate that this could be someone's idea of the best deck ever. So I'm not going to trash it because I do like it. I mean, I bought it. I haven't got rid of it since, but I will be, as I said, best offer. Or if you just fancy getting this, as I said, you can see the quality of the cards. I've hardly shuffled it. And it's going to go, any money, it's going to go to charity for the Woodland Trust then. What I do like about these cards is, so for example, the ones obviously fire suit, you're going to get those with the court cards. You get a lot of the element in there and it does build up. 5 of Wands, wow. There isn't much light in here and even the fire is it's quite dark. So the Page of Wands has got like the sun, and then we get into more and more Queen, King, more and more fire there with those ones there. Let's finish off. We've got the Cups, which are horns. Like I said, if you do want me to stop and there's hell there. Stop and look a little bit more in depth there. Just let me know. Jackie Crystal Moon. I see this moon card as your light side fighting a dark side. That's nice. Stay on track. Haven't read the book yet. I like that. Thank you. I love how the swords and wand kings are standing ready for action. Yeah, absolutely. There's some really lovely bits in here. Even here we've got like dolphins in the sky there. In fact, the Queen's got the dolphins there. Yeah, there's dolphins in the sky. It's just a little bit too perfect for me, I have to be honest, this deck. Jonathan says, I heard they use different runes for each suit. Nearly there, folks. It's all very clean. All these people are very clean. I always think of a bit like the show Vikings, where there's lots of mud and blood and gore and rats and things. It's all very clean, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the Runic Tarot. If you're interested, message me on Facebook. There we go. Sky dolphins. Yes, absolutely. The Vikings are very famous for their sky dolphins. I don't know if they even had dolphins. Dolphins? I know they have like Arctic whales and things. I know whales would have probably been in the waters, but I'm not quite sure about dolphins. Yeah, I don't remember the sky dolphin. Oh, there we go. Because the Vikings are actually very clean. They found English people dirty. There you go. No comment more. It's very interesting. Talking of which, in York, which is a big city up north in the Yorkshire counties, it was a big Roman settlement, but it's now more famous for the Viking settlement. And they, back in the 80s, were building a new shopping centre, and they came across this whole town of Viking settlers called Jorvik, which is where the word name York comes from. And you can still go and visit it, and it's wonderful. You walk through a recreation of what the village or the town would have been like. You're taken around in these kind of massive buggies, which point out all the different finds that they found on the excavation, and you can hear them all talking away in Nordic languages, and you can get the smells coming up. They've recreated the smells of the time. So when you go past the fishmonger, it all smells, or you go past a fire, you've got that ash smell there. Really, really wonderful. If you ever do go to York, do go to the Jorvik Viking Centre. It's brilliant. But you're absolutely right. There were lots of combs there. They were constantly making combs to comb their hair and keeping themselves clean because of illnesses that would have come around that way there. So absolutely, I hear what you're saying there. Right, let's go on with the next one. Now, I'm taking a little break here just from Vikings, just to do runes. This is the Runic Oracle Odyssey, which I got on Kickstarter 2 years ago by Eva Delacourt. This is a fabulous deck, and actually, if you were going to be learning runes, which is obviously what I need to do, this would be a very lovely deck to go with. I love the colors of this deck. It comes with a really super guidebook, full color there. But it's taken out of the realms of Viking sagas. We're just looking constantly at the runes themselves and the meanings. Again, same size as a tarot card, which is quite interesting for an oracle. I haven't put these in any order, so you can see them, but you get these background images. The cardstock is wonderful, and there's so much gilding on there. So you've got the Tree of Life there. Got Whirlwind. You always get these moon cards. So that's full moon there, waning moon, waxing moon, and waning crescent. There we go. Destiny. It's in French and English as well. And actually, the images from watching I can see on the screen look so much better than actually on the cards. It's really much clearer to see what's going on there. So you have the name of the rune, obviously the rune itself, and some keywords: generosity, balance in that case. And it's got that rose finish. Jackie says, I've got this. It's gorgeous. Yes, the bag, which I seem to have misplaced. Yeah, it is gorgeous. And it's absolutely. I'm not sure, Jackie, if this was reprinted or whether it's available on an Etsy shop. Kristen says, my husband has a Norse tattoo on his arm. Oh, Jonathan says, I have this deck and never used it. Oh, you're talking about the runic one. Oh, okay. That's gorgeous. I'm going to use this more. There's another. Oh, that moon card is gorgeous. New moon. Yeah, this would be really good to add in with the tarot, wouldn't it, actually? Transformation. Ooh. Strengthened. Somebody climbing up a rock face there. Oh, that's prompted me to use these more. As I said, I went to these decks because I really feel, I don't know why, but for me, as the winter starts to draw in and we've got all autumn, we've reached the summer zenith, if you want to call that, and the solstice, nights beginning to draw in. That's when I feel most drawn to Nordic and ancestral kind of decks. So it's really nice to kind of be pulling these ones out and having a look and going, yeah, that needs to go back on the shelf and use that in the next few months. I know we've still got a few more weeks of summer left. So that's that deck there. I really would recommend this one if you don't have it and you like to, even the edges are beautifully, it's really lovely made. So that is the Runic Oracle Odyssey by Ava Delacourt. Highly recommend it. Jackie says there's another new printing of it, different colors again, I think. Oh, wow. Interesting to know what colors they would be. The reason I backed this deck is I just love the colors of it. I like the idea of the kind of sky, the stars, and the what's the word, like the sea and stuff like that comes with it. Well, that's the box. Really beautiful, really lovely deck. Yeah, the Runic Tarot. You try to support Jamie as much as could, but she's a good friend of mine. Absolutely, yeah. And Kathy says, that's beautiful. I'm a magpie for bling. It looks like a well thought. It certainly is. You've nailed it there. Absolutely. Gotta love the bling on the deck. Yeah, yes. And Jackie says, it's very reasonable. I got it for about 35 euros and 16 postage. I have the same color one as yours. Lovely. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really inspired me to use it now. Love to know how you get on with it, Jackie. Send me a message on Facebook if you like that one. Definitely blingy. Yeah, I wish I could have made my deck blingy, but it is really pricey to put the gold on it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, how are we doing? We've got 2 more decks to go. How's everyone doing? Thank you for everyone watching. Yeah. Right. Okay. First, I'm going to show you this. This one doesn't come in a box. Now, I've showed you this a couple of weeks ago. I bought this deck on eBay. It's my second copy of it. I'm going to show it to you in a moment, but let's just admire this because the lovely Anne Forte saw me show the deck off and decided to make me this wonderful pouch for it to live in, because it didn't have a box that it came in, and she's picked the colours for the satins that match the deck there. So there we go. So I'll put the camera down so you can see it a little bit more as I get it out. So let's move my mouse out of the way. Let's finish my cup of tea. So this is beautiful. She even asked me how I wanted the deck to be made, and it does make beautiful bags. You're absolutely right, Sandra. She's even made me a little pocket to keep some crystals. I said, because these are brand new, or second-hand decks, but new to me, and I needed something to keep in them, to keep them good. So I've got a nice black obsidian heart there, and I don't quite know what that is, but it's a bit gorgeous there. And they just live in that pocket there. And she's even beautifully made it. So all I have to do is pull on this, and ta-da, there is the deck. And it's the Norse Tarot by Clive Barrett. This is one of my first decks that I always wanted this deck when I started learning tarot. It was made the first print was 1989, I believe, so it's a really old deck. It is available on secondhand and brand new. You can still buy this. Copies of it, as this came on eBay. It's not expensive. It's a really lovely big tarot deck. I'll show you the backs so you can see how the colors match with the beautiful pouch that Anne made for me. And you've got this wonderful knotwork going on there. So again, this is based on the Norse Viking legends, but the major arcana tend to be more about the tales of the gods, and the minor arcana tend to show day-to-day living. So just to compare it to what it is, so you can see it's a lot wider there. And it comes with these beautiful borders. A lot of people say the cards are too big. Try and trim it down. You would destroy the backs of it, which is such a shame. What's the name of that last deck again? It's the Runic Oracle Odyssey. There you go, Kathy. Okay. Right. So again, these have a rune. Notice how the runes on here do not match the runes on any of the other tarot decks. So it's not like the Fall has to have a certain rune. It doesn't. These are watercolor and really colorful. Now let's just stop and think about how dark and dim this deck was to now what the colors of this are. You can see why the preference for these decks is more than the other one. Hi, Nancy. Oh, you're not late to the chat. Well, it's good to see you here. And Kristen's put a link in. Thank you there, Kristen. Okay, so I'm going to put them over that way, and then we can move them that way. I love these cards. In fact, this is my second deck, like I said, because I wanted to not lose one. And as I said, this was not the first deck I saw, but when I was learning tarot back in the late 80s, when this deck was around, I really wanted this, but I just couldn't afford it at the time. Cardstock's not brilliant, but that's the late 80s for you. But the colours in it are just stunning, and I actually really like the titles here again. Now they have got numbers on them. They are tiny. They've got little Roman numerals there, which is a bit strange to have Roman numerals on it. And it is, so if you need to work with numbers, they are quite small, but I really love how the images here really have got a freshness to them. There's a lot of outdoor living. You know, you've got this one here, the lovers. You've got Odin and Frigga, and he's got his raven there, and Frigga's being offered by one of the dwarfs a necklace. So it's a really unusual take on the lovers card there. You've got the idea of choice going on a lot more than you have of a relationship, perhaps. Chariot, again, accurate. You've got Thor there with his rams pulling his war chariot there. Oh, and I can't remember who is it's got the rainbow bridge. Again, the Norns for the Wheel of Fortune. You can see how the red particularly really pops in this deck. And I like the fact we've got, strong colours. There's Fenrir for strength again. Again, that was in the Runic Tarot. That was just with a polar bear. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I think I prefer the idea of strength here being the physical strength, and the fact that he's got his hand in the wolf's mouth there that is about to be bitten off. And there we go. The Hanged Man does have Odin. Death is actually I'd have to look in the book. This one didn't come with. I do have another version of this deck which comes with a guidebook. I haven't got it out, but it's a really lovely guidebook that goes through all the myths there with you. Temperance, the Valkyries. The Devil, that's Loki having his serpent venom dripped on him for punishment, and his wife capturing it in the pot there to stop his suffering. The Tower, we got the rainbow bridge being shattered there. The star, I love this, the fact the stars on the inside of a cape, and how the moon as well, just black backgrounds, really simple. And I really get a sense that that's how, the moon god there being held, the moon's actually being held up there. I just love it, absolutely love it. And the sun, again, sorry, I don't have the gods and the goddesses as to who that one is. It's in the book. Judgment, you've got the gods there in the sky. And finally, the world. Okay, so let's look at the Minor Arcana. The necklace of Brisingham was gift to Freya, was it to Freya, not Frigg? The deck must be based on the theory that Frigg and Freya are the same person. It probably says in the book, yeah. Sonia says, have to go, but we'll reply. Thank you so much for sharing these. Everyone, you too, Sonia. It's lovely to see you. And I like this deck too. I really like the borders. I need to remember my limits, otherwise I'll be buying all of them. Purchase responsibly, of course. But like I said, this is quite a cheap deck. This cost me secondhand, and it's a really good quality. I think it was £9. So you can get secondhand copies if you like using secondhand tarot decks. Look at that for Three of Swords. I love it. Who will want to wake up looking at that view there out the door? As the tiny, tiny numbers at the top then do make it a bit difficult. I love this because I was like, Six of Swords, shouldn't there be a ship? And of course there is a ship. They're actually on the ship. You're kind of zoomed in and we're on the deck of a ship there. And I love this one. I love the take there on the Eight of Swords. The fact that we're almost looking down like a drone on top of them all. And you can see the person surrounded there. Yeah, purchase responsibly. Yeah. I also like how the image sometimes goes outside the border. It's great to have a dragon in there as well. Did I say it was the Eight of Swords? What did I say it was? Seven of Swords. Yeah, Seven of Swords, sorry. There's the Eight of Swords. And then the court cards, we have Princess. And we have prints, and you can choose how you interpret that one. So which one you want to read as the knight and which one of the pages entirely down to you. I love the Queen of Swords there with the grasses there. And the King of Swords looking really thoughtful, but still got a good grasp on the sword. Ace of Cups. 2, 3. I'm spending more time on this one because I love it. And what I like about this is there isn't all that kind of frost and coldness that you often get in a Nordic deck. There's a real sense of nature here in spring. And like I said, the Oracle decks would read really well with this. Princess, Prince, Queen, King. I might just put those out actually. What do they look like in a row? I'm just going to do that for a second. Sorry to be. You can see how they work together there. I own none of these decks that Rich has shared. I guess I have been able to know my limits and purchase responsibly. Absolutely. Well, that's what makes this group or this community so great. It's, what butters one person's muffin may not be the case for somebody else. And yet we all appreciate the artwork and the beauty and the interest in it all. So they do have little letters on the bottom telling you whether they're cups, wands, swords, in case you get confused. I love this 5 of Wands. I know that the image in there is quite often used, but I like the fact it's going outside the excitement in the 6 of Wands, the fact that they're about to land, perhaps with good news about what everything they've conquered. 7, 8 of Wands. Look at that for travel and moving on. Not to be confused, obviously, with the 6 of Swords. And even the 10 of Wands, this person looks like they've sorted themselves out. They're carrying the wood, in a very well manner. They're not having to break their backs to do it. They've got it balanced and they're actually mastering it. So, and then the Wands, obviously, very fiery. So there we go. John says, I only have the one, the rest are new to me. Oh, there we go. It's nice to have a look at something different for a change, isn't it? Something new, may not seen. Where are we? Pentacles. Again, would work really well with any of the Oracle decks. I love that one. I like how they're often shields as well, the pentacles. So the idea of work and the wood from the earth there. 10, and then Princess with the stones. Prince got stones there. I think there was stones. Stone circle in the background. Yeah, and the king there has got a stone there. There we go. So that is Clive Barrett Norse Tarot. I think that might be my favourite deck. I have to be honest. They are that's the one. That's the one that I would keep if I had to. So yeah, I really like that one. Kristen says, I get salty about Frigg and Freya being conflated into St. Goddess, so probably won't get this deck. And Kathy says, I love the colours in this one. It's not as ominous. Absolutely, that's why I love it. Compare it again to, as I was saying, to the runic one. And it's each their own, isn't it? Absolutely each their own. If you like your Nordic decks to be dark and, had that fairy tale element. Absolutely. I'm going to leave that one out because I'm not going to try and put it in Anne's wonderful pouch right now. We've got one more to do. How are we doing for time? Perfect. Yes, perfect. The last one is, well, it's a shame that Chris Elemental Cartomancy is not here because he got me in this one. He did a round table reading for me. Was it this year or late last year? It might have been this year. And he used this one. And it's Odin's Playbook, a Norse crossed out tarot tale, Daniel Norman. Now, what I love about this is it's similar in many ways to this one when it comes to the colors. Again, a completely different style. Is this available? I'm not sure. I think I might have bought the last one. There are copies available in Canada, I believe, where it was made. But you would have to pay shipping if you're coming over to the UK, and it is quite pricey. But I'm hoping that there will be some decks more available there. Oh, Hershey's, oh, I like this one. Do you know what? This I've saved this one to last. It's not my favorite, but it has been enjoyable using this one there. So it comes with a lovely box that's two-part there. That's got the lovely colours in there. I'm going to put that over there. I can't remember if I've read the book or not. Again, they got the runes in there. But this is possibly the furthest you could get away from the runic tarot. Yeah. Oh, Peter's here. Hi, Peter. I have to listen back. We're doing a final edit on Julie's newest book, and now I need to get some garden chores done. Love to all you as well. So, are the edges? Yeah, the edges are, again, dark blue, very much like the runic oracle colours there. So, gorgeous blue. And these are the back, so it's got Odin on there and lots of different symbols. It's got snow. Oh no, that's not. That's the. Just realised that's the Viking. Good luck, isn't it? I can't remember the name of that one either. I've got it on a necklace, and I don't wear it. As you can see, the colours in this are absolutely astonishing. Oh, Jackie says I'm doing a six card spread, 3 runic, 3 runic. Let's go on, focus on energy coming in. Let's go off lovers, trust. Let's go, let go of let go of lovers. So let go of relationships with no trust. Wow, that's amazing. 3 runic, 3 runic oracle. Let go of, focus on energy. Let go. Oh, brilliant. And it works really well together. Please, yeah, post the pick into the community tab. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that. That's brilliant. So back to this one. The colours, as you can see, are amazing. Again, think about the runic tarot, and you can see why I prefer these ones that we've just shown you. And so they kind of have. It's really interesting. It's kind of the artwork in it. Later on, feels like it's mixed media or collage. I think this is just a painting. But you can see that the colours in this. Oh, do you know what? This just reminds me of winter nights, winter afternoons when the sun's going down. That kind of sky, you get these wonderful, beautiful colours. And what I like about this is it's not necessarily, although it's called Odin's Playbook, it's got Nordic gods in there and all that lot, but it doesn't feel like you have to spend, who's this? I don't feel like I have to go, I need to go and look up who this one is. So it is the father and the mother rather than the emperor and the empress. And we have the elder rather than the hierophant. And I think it was the sky on this sold me this deck, just that one. And the strength of the bear, again. Looks like you, Kristen, a bit there. Hermit. Web of the Weird. Actually, there are people in here, different colours. Yeah, different diversity, which is nice to see as well. Hanged Man. Death. This is great. Look at that door about to open. There's Hell. And I think I love the fact that it's very simply done. It almost feels quite childlike or young adult like. Oh, look at that. That just makes me so happy, that card, that star card. And look at that from Moon. So there's a smiley face in the moon. It's also something a little bit kind of like medieval, like you know, like medieval tapestries and stuff. It's got that kind of sense to it, or the world tree there in all 4 seasons. Horns for cups. It's lovely to see diversity in here, actually. There's the way the door in Death makes an eye shape with the light behind it makes me think of the death of ego. Yeah. I got to go, Kristen. Thank you for helping out today and giving a lot of input there. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Have a good day yourself. You so love everything about this too. It just goes to show, doesn't it, is that, oh, it's the same moon on the same smiley face. But I was going to say, it just goes to show that, you know, if you take an idea of Nordic, that kind of style, and we've looked at, you know, 3, 4 different tarots, different oracles, all of them have got different style about them. Each one of them, you know, really different. Oh, that's wonderful, that 10 of cups. But it's interesting, isn't it? Now we're coming on to the court cards, and as you can see, they look like they've been made out of fabric and photographed, whereas the mine a bit more flatter. This seems to have some depth to it. It's gorgeous. I love that I've got a little toy horse there for the maiden of horns. So rather than having knight, it's the maiden. And then you have the chieftain, and then you have the ruler. So again, you can really choose how you want to mix those ones up. You don't have to read them as king, queen that way. I think it is the skies and the backgrounds that really make me very happy. Oh, look at that. It's so different from some of the others, isn't it? And, you know, I actually loved the Vikings on TV and the stories there. But you would never put these cards together as being something from that, but it works so well. Poet of Staves, so it's the page. Shield Maiden of Staves. And we've got axes for swords, which makes sense. 2 axes. I think next time I'm going to do a reading with these ones. I've actually kept them in order because I didn't want to have to keep shuffling these ones. But the next reading, live readings, we'll do, whether that's long stash or something next week, I might be using these. They come across very well on the camera as well. And finally, rings for pentacles. Sorry, I didn't show you how. So I think again they're normal. Yeah, normal tarot size there. 3 of Pentacles. Coming up to the last few. I'm going to be doing another one of these actually. More to do with Celtic decks, because I've also got quite a few of those ones. It won't be next week, but yeah, I've got probably 2 or 3 Celtic decks, including, of course, Druidcraft will have to be in there. Plus, I've got some really nice Oracle decks as well that didn't quite fit in with this. Let's not mix up our Vikings and our Celts together, because it's easy to do that. But yeah, I'm planning to do one of those in the next couple of weeks, like this. I love the Chieftain of Rings there. It's got a real cheeky smile. And you also get another card. You get Odin, the All-Father, there to use if you wanted to there. So, back to me. There we go. That is my collection. And I've really enjoyed showing you these and having a chance to compare them. It's not often that I will take out a series of cards and from different decks and start to compare them and look at the similarities and look at the differences there. And it's really interesting. And my reactions, as well as your reactions, is it's fantastic as well. So thank you for allowing me to do this. I'm just reading. Yeah, it would be fun to do this for long. And do you know what? I've been keeping them back because I think it is a May 1 onwards, wintry, Yule kind of sense. It's not particularly a summer deck for me or that time. So it makes perfect sense to be using them this time of year. I wonder which deck I would use to work with that one. Ooh. You've got some. I'm sure you'll find some there. She says, that was fun. Definitely bring out a childlike feeling for me, yeah. Or a Celtic one would be great. Yes. Yeah, I've got quite a few Oracle decks that I want to share, as well as the Celtic Lenormand for that one. So I'm going to be doing that in a couple of weeks' time. I really want to do a Roman and Greek one because I said at the beginning that was my my real interest when I was a kid. Do you know what? Apart from the Mythic Tarot and the other, there's not much that I've actually got in my collection. And I've always been a bit disappointed with Greek-themed decks. But perhaps I've got a couple of Oracle decks that I'll be able to team up with the Mythic Tarot. But that is all I've got with that one there. So it'd be nice to do a Greek one. But I will do a Celtic one in a couple of weeks' time. So do look out for that one there. Jonathan says a bunch of Celtic themed decks. Be interested to see how a collection. Absolutely, yeah. That's what it's about, isn't it? And it's good to have conversations about them. Jackie's Crystal Moon. I've posted my reading on the community tab and tagged you. Thank you. You inspired me to try them together. Going to be using them lots now. I'm so pleased to hear that. Thank you for that. It's very lovely to hear that. Brilliant. I challenge people to actually name some Greek mythology, apart from the Mythic Tarot, both versions. Okay, apart from, can you actually name, or can you admit to having any? Because they are pretty rare to find. There was one on Kickstarter a little while ago, and actually the only other Greek one I've got is a really old deck that was. I don't even know where it is, but I'll probably have enough to kind of cobble together a few there, so that would be that. But yeah, and Roman decks even less, available. rarer even still. So I'm going to finish up now. I'm just going to let you know that I am next Tuesday with Ali from Heart and Soul Connected. And then next Wednesday, Eastern time, I believe it is, I'm with Mark over at Spirit Whisperer. And we're going to be doing readings on the Tuesday event. So I might use some of these decks then. So do come and look out. I will put links into my own Facebook page. So do look out for those ones there. It's been really lovely spending time with you. Thank you so much for allowing me to do that. And just to have a good chat about it. Oh, thank you. Beautifully. It's interesting, my collection. It just reflects me and my interest. That's I suppose what a deck collection should do in many ways, isn't it? Absolutely sending in blessings and positive vibes there, Red Wing. Been very interesting. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us there. You're looking forward to the Celtic one, so make sure like and subscribe. You know what to do. Jonathan, I've got the Mythic Tarot and the Twilight of the Gods Tarot. Yeah, I don't have the Twilight, and I think that's it for the Greek decks. Yeah, absolutely. Bye everyone. So take care, and we'll be seeing you. Well, hopefully I'll see you either Tuesday or Wednesday over on Ali's channel. But until then, have a great weekend and take care. Bye.